Well, I want to ask you, changing gears a little bit, about Donald Trump. Obviously, he was just indicted under the Espionage Act. Now, you have been very vocal about your support for Julian Assange, saying on day one you would like to pardon him. He was also obviously charged under the Espionage Act. And many conservatives right now are looking to the fact that Mike Pence, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton have also had these document retention cases, all of whom have not been prosecuted. We don't know yet what's going to happen in the Joe Biden case, of course, but they contrast that with how certain whistleblowers like Julian Assange, Reality Winner, et cetera, have been treated, even when they too had there was no proof that they were attempting to do actual espionage, give the documents to a foreign party. In one instance, a 66-year-old Vietnamese American civil servant was jailed for 5.5 years for taking documents home just to work on them over the weekend to get ahead. So what do you say to conservatives who say what's happening to Trump is in fact a political prosecution if people who are similarly implicated in what he's been charged with, or who have done less, have gone to jail, but Hillary Clinton, Mike Pence, and Joe Biden himself are not being charged?
Well, first of all, I don't like the Espionage Act, and I think it should be repealed. I think, I thought Brianna, I thought the New York prosecutor, I also want to say this, I don't know that much about, I have not studied the case against Donald Trump. So, I'm speaking kind of off the top of my head. I looked at kind of casually or cursorily the New York case that the New York prosecutor Eric Adams brought, and I thought that case was weak. And if I had been a prosecutor, I was once a prosecutor, I would not have brought that case. And I think you can make a case for it, but I think when it comes to prosecuting a political figure, particularly a president of the United States, the prosecutors have to walk a really thin line and a very, very delicate line, because our country has always tried to avoid the optics and the reality of politically grounded prosecutions. It's something that's done in totalitarian countries. It was something that was done in Great Britain prior to the American Revolution, and that the framers of our Constitution were warned against. So people are there are two kind of countervailing principles. One is that people who are in political power should not be above the law. If they break the law, they should pay for it like other people. But there's another countervailing principle, which is, in democracies, it's dangerous to start prosecuting people criminally unless there is a really compelling reason to do so, because it gives rise to accusation in the optics that it's a politically based prosecution. So I think prosecutors have to be careful about that. I thought the New York prosecution did not, in my view, and again, the prosecutor may know more about it than I do, so I don't want to second guess him. But in my view, it didn't pass the threshold that that I would want to see for a prosecution of the president of the United States. I don't know enough about this case. I mean, I've heard things about it. I think that the danger to President Trump of this case is that the judge made this extraordinary decision to penetrate the attorney-client privilege, which is almost never done, but it is done in cases where the attorneys appear to be in collusion to commit a crime.
Right.
And that is, I guess, was the rationale in this case. And I think once that decision was made, that the case against President Trump is very, very strong.
Yeah, just
you asked me whether I like the Espionage Act. I think the Espionage Act has been an anti-democratic act from its inception. It has always been in disrepute, particularly among liberals. Liberals have always hated that act, and it has been used to silence people who should have had the right to free speech throughout American history. It has been misused and abused by people in political power throughout our history. And, if it was my choice, I would repeal it.